Thanks, guys. Sorry to interrupt. Carlos is here in good time and in the dry with us now. Carlos, a difficult night for you to say the least, and we could see how frustrated you were at the end.
Of course, because we know how important for us was to win the game. We, after 2 defeats in the league, we didn't want it to arrive to the 3rd defeat because something that we didn't happen yet. And we wanted to go for the game. We wanted to make a good game. We wanted to play with a lot of personality in attack. We wanted to create chance. We wanted to defend well. And some of these points we didn't do enough well.
What was your biggest frustration tonight, Carlos? We could see your emotion. We love your passion during the match, good or bad, whatever's going on. But we could see that you were particularly frustrated at the end of tonight. What was the biggest source of that tonight for you?
I think, first of all, it's difficult we need to analyze the goal that they scored, because in the moment you start to concede one goal like that one from the game, you start losing the game directly and everything is going to be more complicated. For me, the reaction of the team was brilliant after the goal of them, because we start to dominate the game how we wanted to do, but of course we prefer it to do without the half concede the goal that we conceded. And I think in the first, maybe from the minute 10 until the minute 30 or 35, for me the team did a very good football. We create chances, we open, we have the ball, and at the same time we find the way how we created chances. And one of the chances was the penalty that they did to defense, the action inside to the box, and was a pity to come miss this action, this penalty. We continue after this, but after the penalty we didn't find enough the possibility to unbalance them, and maybe the more frustration is clear that in the second half, losing the game, we didn't find a way to can create chances, because we need more chances to can win that game. We try first of all to attack 3-5-2 like we have with 2 strikers. We know that some of the players that they were in the first 11, they couldn't play the full game because they are in the readaptation part, or they are taking the first minutes. So we try to adapt a little bit the side to 4-3 to see if we can unbalance more them on the sides. And at the end, we finish with 2 strikers in any of the ways we create enough, because sometimes when you are losing the game, you precipitate attacks. Sometimes it's to take a little bit more of patience and take the best spaces. Sometimes it's to fix the opponent before to make the pass. You start to give the pass 1 second before, and just 1 second before change the action and make more complicated attack versus 10 players that are going to be compact in the pitch. We had 2 chances in 2 set pieces, but we didn't create in our open game enough for us to can balance the game.
Now that is a very fascinating and complicated subject, Carlos, which you're helping us to understand. Tonight it seemed to get more complicated because you had plenty of possession. We know that you like your players to be confident and comfortable on the ball, but there needed to be more pace about the attacks and the passing, more speed about the attacks. Or am I reading that wrong?
It depends about the situation, because for me, first of all, like the 2 strikers didn't press enough the central backs. As soon as we play fast to the sides, they made the balance to the side, and they add with 1 player more to stop the attack on the side. So sometimes we need to be a little bit more patient to fix more the strikers in the middle, to the ball arrive more clear and without any type of opponent in the fair line of them to the sides. But it's not important these things like I will analyze with my team the way how we need to attack better. I think it's important moment now to work with the team. We are making some changes. Some players didn't play until now. We are watching like Vallejo was 1 player that didn't play in the first part of the season, but we know that some of the injuries make us that we need to adapt and we to create new relation of the team that sometimes takes some time, that we are going to use now to improve the offensive part of the team, because we didn't want it to have the ball in front of the central of the striker of them. We wanted to have the ball creating the chances. It was something that we didn't do enough. So now with the new player that we have with Kio, with some young players that are now to the team, like can be Pat Jones or can be a new player like Rolando Arons, we need to create more stability, more better relations, improve the association, because improving is going to be necessary now, improve the associations to can attack better in the pitch.
We can see Pat Jones's potential and the skill level that he has, even as a very young man. Is he already experienced enough? Is he old enough to be able to feature in your future plans?
He's going to be in our squad. He's going to be one of the alternatives that we have as a winger. Right now, as a left winger, we have Rolando Arons and him. Are the 2 possibilities that we have to play as a right winger. On the right winger, as a specific right winger, we have Isaac and Benza. And that's why I think Pat Jones have to be one player that can give us things to the team, even knowing that he's a young player. I always say that the most important is the talent and the possibilities of the player more than the age of them. Of course, he's going to need some time in adaptation, but I think he needs to do because he's part of the squad. He is taking one space that is important that he defends every time he goes to the pitch.
Your newest player, Carlos, Richard Keogh, how did you think he delivered value to the team tonight?
First of all, we didn't have the option to play with Emon Green today because he was injured after the last game. He suffered like a little bit of feeling in the muscle. Then we know that first of all was necessary for us to have Keogh because we didn't have a specific right central back. So the first value is that he gave us the possibility to play in that position because it's one position that was real necessary. We analyze, like I said, you always the market. We analyze our possibilities as a club. Then we are happy to can have him and to use his experience to improve the team. But he only could training yesterday, only one day. So like I told you, we are going to need now a little bit of time to use this week because in football you never have a lot of time. But we need to use the days that we have to improve our relation of the players in attack because for me the team today defends well. There's one good team that of course was more focused to defense than to attack.
With respect to Fraser Campbell and Janinia Bakuna before him, on the penalties, Carlos, surely you've got to do something about penalty taking. To miss two, the only two that you've been awarded this season, is pretty weak, isn't it?
Yes, I think we didn't solve well these two types of situations. Bakuna was the player that did took the decision to finish the first penalty. He didn't do well. Fortunately, we won that game. And today in the pitch, the option was to make the penalties Campbell or Danny Ward because of the two strikers. At the end, what you cannot stay to make the decision just because they're missing the penalties. At the end, someone needs to take the penalty, and the best player, if we cannot to say that one striker is not able to finish one penalty because he has all the conditions to do. Danny Ward or him, both players are able to finish the penalty. In that moment, between them, Campbell took the decision because he felt with the confidence. But maybe if I change the decision with Danny Ward, I didn't know the result, of course. But both players were the players in charge to finish the penalties because of the player that can be specialist in these actions.
This sounds simplistic, but do you make them practice penalties? Are you the kind of head coach who'll say, right, we've got to start all over again and go back to basics, even on something like penalties?
Yes, we need to work all the situations, the free kicks, the penalty, the corners, every situation that are part of the game we are doing. But of course, never is the same the training that after in the game. And when this situation happens, of course, it's a disappointing point for all of us, especially first for the player. One player like Campbell that always is making an amazing effort to contribute in the competitive level of the team. So now we need to be like close to him because he's frustrated because he knows how important was this action for the team. He couldn't score, and what we need to do is to continue working and try to use the third penalty to score the goal. First of all, provoking the penalties, provoking the chances, and after trying to score in this situation because, of course, can has a lot of influence in the result.
Thank you for joining us live on BBC Radio Leeds, Carlos Corberán.
Okay, thank you.